I don't have a mattress.
That's not my problem.
Okay, jeez. Well, now where am I supposed to sleep? Wait a minute. Helix Sleep makes premium mattresses and bedding that are customized to fit your needs and conveniently shipped right to your door. The Helix lineup offers 20 unique mattresses, including their award-winning Luxe and Ultra Premium Elite collections, the Helix Plus, a mattress designed for big and tall sleepers, and the Helix Kids mattress designed for growing bodies and endorsed by child sleep and medical experts. Helix knows that everyone is different, so they made a sleep quiz that matches your unique body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. If you sleep with a partner, you can take the sleep quiz together and find something that's perfect for the both of you. My wife and I are both side sleepers who prefer a medium firmness, so based on our results, Helix matched us with their Midnight Luxe mattress. I've had my Helix mattress for a while now, and I love it. What I like most about it is how comfortable it is compared to my old mattress, and even my dog Lily likes it too.
Alex, what are you doing?
Sleeping in the office.
When did you get this?
Helix delivered it right to our door. Unlike other brands, Helix mattresses don't contain fiberglass, which can be harmful to your health. Other mattress companies use fiberglass as a flame retardant in their products, but Helix mattresses are free from harmful fiberglass material. In fact, Helix owns its own manufacturing facility, which is entirely free from products containing fiberglass altogether. And if it makes you nervous to buy something you haven't tried, Helix has a 100-night sleep trial, so you get more than 3 months to make sure that you love it. Plus, Helix mattresses have a 10-year warranty, and they even offer financing options and flexible payment plans, so a great night's sleep is never far away. Thank you, Helix Sleep, for sponsoring today's video. Visit helixsleep.com/Cimo with 3 O's to take advantage of their extended Labor Day sale exclusive partner offer, 27% off site-wide. CGB, buddy! It is finally time. After 10,000 years, we're doing the waifu video. Are you excited to see some of Yu-Gi-Oh's waifus?
No, we're not. No, we're not. Don't do this to me. Don't.
We're doing it. We're doing it. It's actually happening. This is it.
I'll believe it when I see I'll believe it when I see a waifu.
I gotta be honest with you.
I'll believe it.
I gotta be honest with you.
I'm still getting baited.
I think we might have to break this up into like multiple videos because I actually channeled my audience to help me out with this. And there's a lot. So I had to narrow it down quite a bit because I want to also make sure you can like intuit some of the cards because you have to figure out if any of these cards were so good or so promiscuous that they had to receive a hit on the ban or limited list. Are you ready?
Is that promiscuous like a way that they rate your cards?
Yeah, of course.
Or is it very special treatment in this case?
It's actually hilarious. There is like a person at Konami whose job it is to censor all the cards before they come over to the TCG. And so that's kind of a children's card game, right? Anyway, here's your first one.
You can't see right now. I got something in my eye, or maybe I'm just crying because this is happening. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. All right, let's go. Holy shit, dude. It is the waifu episode.
I told you it's the waifu episode. We're actually, I'm going to be taking you through history here. So I think we're going in chronological order. I mean, there might be some things that are slightly out of order, but we're starting at the very beginning with one of Yu-Gi-Oh's oldest waifus, as a matter of fact.
Is the thumbnail going to have my heart eyes?
Of course it is. Of course you're going to have hard eyes on the thumbnail.
Okay. Gemini Elf. This is a level 4 Earth with 1900 attack and 900 defense. And it says elf twins that alternate their attacks.
So this is a vanilla.
That's what it says.
I will give you context. Okay. This was one of the first cards released into the game. I believe it was the 4th set in Yu-Gi-Oh! So this is a Yu-Gi-Oh! 1 card for sure. But a 1900 level 4... I will let you know, back then was like the best attack stat on a level 4 monster. There were things that were bigger, but they had tremendous downsides. For instance, there was a card that had 2300 attack on a normal summon, but it had to go to defense position after it attacked, and it could not, and it had 0 defense, and it could not be switched back to attack until 2 turns later. So having the Gemini Elves here, this was like the premium normal summon for old Yu-Gi-Oh! In some instances.
So this, I mean, of course everything's free, but in Magic, this is like a 1 mana 5/5 or something, or 6/6.
That would be a good equivalent. Yes, I would say maybe like a 4/4. I think that might be like a better rating of it.
Yeah, well, that's still a Giga Chad of a card right there.
You basically had to have a tribute monster for instance, to like, or like your own Gemini elf to crash into it. But a tribute monster typically his attack stats would be like 2,000 plus. So you'd have to tribute over something to hit over the Gemini elf.
Good lord. And it says elf twins that alternate their attacks. Is this what Yu-Gi-Oh calls flavor text? I feel like I've never seen just a line that doesn't mean anything.
Our flavor text leaves a lot to be desired. Let's put it that way. Unless there's one particular card. Actually, I should show you this because this is really funny. This is not, you don't have to rate this card. What is the card
While you're
called?
finding it, I'm just going to say, I thought they had double... I thought what it actually meant is that
it was
they
like
have
double strike?
Like
Nope.
damage. Yeah.
Nope.
I thought they attacked twice or something because of the flavor text, but no, it's just nothing.
Nope. It's so you can tell it's a
spellcaster normal.
You can tell it's a normal.
Spellcaster normal is
well,
amazing.
So it's interesting. They didn't actually clarify that these were normal monsters in the original game. It would just say like spellcaster. And so later on, they changed it where it says like it's a normal monster. You can tell though because the border isn't like orange. It's more like a tan color. You want flavor text? Here's your flavor text. I'm going to show you this deck one day.
There's nothing normal about this, but okay. Gunkan. Yeah? No, Gunkan. Suship Shari?
It's a suship.
I don't know what that is. Gunkan Suship Shari?
You wanted flavor text. There you
reference? Go. This must be a sushi
They're
reference.
sushi battleships.
What?
They are giant sushi battleships.
You can't just say this to me like this is just a thing everybody knows.
It's a suship. It says it in the name. It says it in the name.
Yeah, of course. Okay. And this is all flavor text.
This is all flavor text. You can read it if you want, but I mean, you wanted flavor text. I gave you flavor text.
It's a sushi battleship. Of course, it has flavor.
There you go. There you go.
Fine. You know what? You give me an all flavor text card, I'll read it. It's your video. What the hell? Finally got to visit that harbor specializing in Gunkan suships that I've been curious about for a while. The premium Shari here is limited to 2,000 suships a year and uses specially developed smooth aged rice, giving it extra boldness not found anywhere else. The classy atmosphere made my heart sing, too. The Gunkan suship served had a perfect balance of vinegar, nigiri, shine, and shape, demonstrating exquisite artisanship. The owner told me, we are introducing rich yet mellow-scented Edo font red vinegar in the near future, which I'm really looking forward to. However, I was disappointed, and the surrounding seas were a little noisy, so giving it 4 stars in hope for improvements.
It's literally a Yelp review on a Yu-Gi-Oh card. So
okay.
I also wanted to show you this as well because this card was printed 20 years later, and it's a 2,000 attack 4-star normal summon that with no effect. So just to give you context of like how rare that is, like for that stat line of like 1900, 20 years ago, like even today they don't print stuff that's like 4-star with like over 2,000 attack. Like that's, you know, that's power creep 20 years later. But I thought contextually that might help you at least understand that part of it.
Gotcha. Sure. I mean, at least they knew something about what to do with card design at this phase, which is at least if you're not going to give an ability, you got to make it an adventure.
Yeah.
Know?
I feel that they could print our own giant cactar that's like a 10,000 attack normal summon, and I feel like that card would still not see play. But that's just me. That's just the cactar saw play, so you know I can't say that, but that's just my take.
Plays a strong word. I think that some crazy people did some shenanigans.
Some crazy people, huh? Who would do such a thing? Who would do such a thing?
No. I don't know. So what are we doing here?
You're rating if Gemini elves ever got banned, restricted, or if it's totally fine.
You mean something that had insane stats for its time, whether or not it ever got banned or restricted?
It's also a waifu episode, so I mean, I could just be showing it to you because, you know, it's a waifu, but there's that.
Yeah, sure. Look, I don't know what's going on back then. You know the story of Dingus Egg, so you know how the banned and restricted things can work back in the day.
Exactly.
You know
That's
how
is this a
goes.
lemon? Is this a lemon? I guess you'll find out.
But look, if I'm really gonna restrict or ban this card, it's trying to put myself in ancient times, and I can pretend I know a lot about Yu-Gi-Oh back then, but I don't know the other cards. I don't know the format. I can't look at a card like this without an ability and just a stat line and be like, that had to be banned or restricted, even if it was like the biggest thing for its day. Something's always the biggest thing. There's always a biggest thing. It doesn't mean it always has to be banned or restricted. Something's got to be the best in class for the rate. So dude, especially all the Yu-Gi-Oh cards you show me, I can't say this was banned or restricted. I can't do it.
Final answer?
Yeah.
You're right. This card's fine.
Okay.
You got it. I wanted to give you a baseline and also just, introduce you to some of the earlier waifus as well as some of the later ones. And Gemini Elf, this is the uncensored artwork. The censored one covers up their breasts quite a bit more.
No.
But they do what's called the Lost Art Collection. You can see how it's L Art for the set name. So basically, every month or two, they give these promos of the uncensored version of the cards to like local game stores. So like if you spend $30, like you get one of these promos. And so the ones that are the most revealing, obviously, are the most popular. And so Gemini Alpha is definitely one of them for sure.
I was going to say that's a good business strategy, and then I think about Magic, and Magic would be selling that straight to consumer and
probably
for a price.
Probably.
All
right.
So actually, that's really friendly of Konami.
Let's amp it up. Here's your next one.
Power level going up, huh? Tour guide from the underworld. I mean, look at that handbag. Look at the outfit. Oh my god.
She's styling. She's styling for sure.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. This is a very adorable card. Yeah. When this card is normal summoned, you can special summon one level 3 fiend type monster from your hand or deck. Oh, we're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay.
Didn't take us long.
Its effects are negated and it cannot be used as a synchro material monster.
So Tour Guide was released, I want to say 2010, 2011, maybe 2012. So like kind of like mid Yu-Gi-Oh, but we're still like pre Yu-Gi-Oh 2, I would say.
What does it mean to have its effects negated?
So a good example would be of let me think of an example. This isn't something you could get off of Tour Guide, but I'm just using it as an example here. So give this card a quick read.
Armageddon Knight. Level 4, 1400. When this card is summoned, you can send one dark monster from your deck to the graveyard.
Sure. So basically, if Tour Guide was able to summon this, you can't summon it. But if it were able to, it would summon out the Armageddon Knight, but Armageddon Knight would not have the effect to send a dark monster from the deck to the graveyard. That's how it's ignition, like sorcery speed effects as well. This is a trigger effect that happens on summon. So just the effects of the monster on the field are negated, so it can't do anything. It's just like a body, basically.
Okay, and if a tour guide summoned another tour guide, it wouldn't summon any more things?
Correct. And you can, that is a legal play. You can tour guide for tour guide. Yep.
Was this card used to circumvent negative monster effects?
Like if there's things that have a downside that you're negating it to have an upside. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Like in Magic, we have cards that are insanely cheap and insanely powerful, but the second they enter the battlefield, they sacrifice themselves or something like that.
Sure.
With this, in Magic, I'd immediately use a card like this to get a 12/12 out for nothing.
I would say
that's how that would work.
That is something Yu-Gi-Oh! You can do, but Tour Guide was not doing that. Would you like to see the premier target that Tour Guide would fetch?
Oh, I live for this.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
All I want to do is see more Yu-Gi-Oh cards that get fetched by other Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
You're such a liar. Anyway, here is... I'm trying to find a good image of it because all the images apparently look like crap. This one looks pretty good.
I'm used to that by now.
You are used to that, yeah, with our shitty image quality. Here you go.
Man, look at this little thing.
He's a little critter.
What the hell is this?
He's a little critter.
What was the movie that... Yeah, Critters was literally the movie that had these little shitheads in it.
Yeah,
except
it's like
they only
Gremlins.
had 2 eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. When this card is sent From the field to the graveyard, select one monster with an attack of 1500 less from the deck. Okay, show it to your opponent, add it to your hand, shuffle your... Wow, I tutor a card that could tutor any other card. Wow.
Yeah, so
wow.
with Sangan's effects activate in the graveyard, so Tour Guide wouldn't be negating it if the Sangan were to go to the graveyard.
The tour guide wouldn't be negating it if it were to go to the graveyard.
Yep.
Okay.
It only negates
so
it on the
effect
field.
of the monster is back on the table if it's a dies effect.
Correct.
Okay, got it. Well, then there's probably still a lot of good targets in Yu-Gi-Oh history.
Sure. And for context, this is also, if you recall, Synchro and Xyz monsters. This card was printed at the end of what we call the Synchro era, where they didn't print as many Synchro monsters, and the start of the XYZ era, which was the black cards that you overlay on top of each other. So hypothetically, with Tour Guide, you get a Sangan or another copy of Tour Guide. You can overlay them and immediately make a level 3, or excuse me, a rank 3 monster from your extra deck.
Are fiends very common and popular through Yu-Gi-Oh history?
I wouldn't say they were like the most prevalent. Like, they're not like dragons, I'll say that. But they're not the most underrepresented. They're kind of like in the middle, I would say. And to be fair, this little package of like Tour Guide with Sangan, this was like really all you needed. You didn't have to play other fiends. You could. There were some other decks that did play fiends that Tour Guide could fetch, but typically Sangan was like the best thing to get.
Sure. So this is definitely a classic Yu-Gi-Oh card that gets a card. And this reminds me of a few cards that you've shown me in history. Some of them going way back. I remember like from the first video, I remember a card.
Well, Sangan was,
I believe,
printed in the
level 3
second set ever printed. So Sangan's a very old card. Right.
So I'm remembering, like, I think there was something that when it died, search for a level 3, or when it entered or something, when it was, yeah. Yep, and I saw that in the very first video, I think, and it was a banned card. Like, I'm trying to nail down, this is both a pretty common Yu-Gi-Oh kind of pattern, but is this one also just too open-ended or too obvious to use for its time? Which is always, seems to be what pushes these kind of narratives a lot. Like, for its time, was this just too good and you had to run it in everything, so they had to get rid of something? I could see this card getting hit in like the old days. I would say that today it's probably just another Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Okay. But again, we are talking about if it was ever banned or limited, so.
Ever is a long time.
In our game, yes it is. And your game as well.
And yeah, all it takes is one level 3 fiend that goes with this perfectly. Oops, forgot about this card, and it's just everywhere.
Typical
again.
Yu-Gi-Oh fashion, yeah. If you want a hint, Sangan got banned actually. Sangan was banned. It was restricted and banned. Maybe I'm just giving you the context. It was banned for about a couple years, and then they ended up errating Sangan so that you can't use the card you search the same turn you search it. And funny enough, it actually still saw play, as a matter of fact, even with that restriction, which is kind of crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Sangan did get banned.
I could see Tour Guide being restricted. I don't think it needs to be banned, but of course there might be another card that searches for Tour Guide, that searches for something else. It is in a way 2 cards in one.
Well, Sangan can search for Tour Guide for what it's worth, but I mean, at that point you're fetching out another Tour Guide with your Tour Guide, so it's not as good. But yeah, I mean, there are ways to search Tour Guide. That's not impossible.
It also doesn't save once per turn, so if there's loops with this, could be.
I will say during this point in Yu-Gi-Oh, because again, remember we're not Yu-Gi-Oh 2, it wasn't super crazy. The once per turn thing, I will say, did not really come up that often. In old Yu-Gi-Oh, like, you only really had one normal summon, and that was it.
You're either being really nice or really tricksy.
You'll never know until you give your answer.
I'm gonna find out. So I'm gonna say that this one's too cute. No bans. No bans.
Final answer?
Final answer.
I thought you had it when you said you thought it would be restricted, because it was in fact restricted to a singular copy.
Like I said, no bans. Like I said.
Oh, you were so close. You were so close.
I think I got it. I think I nailed it.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know what
sure.
anybody's talking about.
Whatever.
I didn't say it was never restricted.
Whatever. All right. Speaking of an Xyz monster, let's show you one.
I can buy it being restricted. That does make some sense. I just, yeah. Hello. It's a nice owl. It's very pretty, very cool owl.
Yeah.
With a hat.
It's a cool art.
What is this?
It's a cool art.
Yeah. Reminds me of a Shadowverse character.
Oh, does
I don't know
it?
if I'm allowed to say that around Yu-Gi-Oh players.
That's fine.
Minerva.
Yep.
The Exalted Lightsworn. Xyz, 2 level 4 monsters. You can detach 1 material from this to send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard, and then draw cards equal to the number of lightsworn cards sent to your graveyard by this effect.
I'm going to stop you here really quick. The lightsworn archetype, its main gimmick is to mill cards. So this is.
I feel like I've seen this.
You've seen
a
version. You've seen other lightsworn cards before, but I was just reminding you that like that is their whole gimmick, is that they all want to mill, and they get effects from like being in the graveyard if they get milled or things like that. So just go ahead, continue. I just want to help give you some context.
Thank you. If this card is destroyed by battle, or if this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. Then you can destroy cards on the field up to the number of lightsworn cards sent to the graveyard by this effect. You can only use each effect of this once per turn. First thought, is all lightsworn cards in your deck an option? Can your deck be 100% lightsworn cards and be good?
Yep, theoretically. There are enough lightsworn cards, especially when this card was printed. There are enough lightsworn cards that you could build a deck of, like, hypothetically all lightsworn cards. Yep.
And like a good deck?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, in 2009, which is several years before this card was printed, or 2008, I'm sorry, Lightsworn was considered one of the best decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! And then in true card game form, eventually they reprinted more support for archetypes like this. And Minerva was a card that could be played in particular decks that would play Lightsworns. Maybe not like an entire deck of all Lightsworns, but like using the Lightsworns as an engine to like, you know, mill stuff, essentially.
Enough that you're typically destroying on a bad day 2 things and 3 things most days.
Yeah, or drawing 2 cards. That's why I thought I'd show you this card.
Drawing 2 cards. Draw cards equal to the number. Oh yeah. Oh my. Oh my.
Pot of greed on a body.
I almost forgot that part. I already read that.
I can't believe you forgot that part.
I know.
This must have been the first time you thought about drawing 2 cards today.
You stopped me and it was gone. Like, yeah, you stopped me after reading that line. I forgot what it said. Okay. Dude, you know I'm losing it when I forgot about drawing cards. So on the way in, you can detach 1 material. Is there like a window to respond when you play this?
Yeah.
Or
so wait, if you look at the text when it says you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, there's a semicolon. So that's the cost, is detaching the material. So after you pay the cost, your opponent has the chance to respond to do something to possibly negate this effect or things like that. If not, then you would go past the semicolon and resolve the rest of the effect.
You get graveyard, you get cards, and you get to kill the opponent's stuff. This card seems busted. Does this come out of the extra deck?
It does. It's an Xyz monster.
What the Huh? And they printed this?
They did?
Like, people could play this card?
I'll give you a little bit of history with
What
Minerva. Minerva's very interesting.
Okay.
So Minerva was actually first a prize card, as a matter of fact. You can see where it says YCSW-EN008.
Okay.
So at first, it was a prize card, and it was very difficult to obtain this card because there was only so few copies. But if you had a copy of Minerva, you basically had access to play, like, arguably one of the best decks of the format because Minerva was just that good of a card. Eventually, a couple years later, they reprinted Minerva, so that way it was more accessible to the wider public. It took a couple years for that, but yeah. Minerva has a very interesting history in terms of its printing.
If Konami had a conscience at any point during this time period, this card was banned.
Okay.
You're
assuming they have a conscience, though.
I know. That's what I'm afraid of. That's why I might be wrong. But how? Like they can't have a pot of greed, but they can pull this out of the extra deck that immediately draws.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there's
cards?
restrictions, right? Because it's, first of all, you need 2 level 4s to make it. So you do go down a card to make it. And then, like, if you pot of greed, you kind of make up for it, right? But then also, you have to be playing Lightsworn. So you are locked. I don't want to say you're locked, but you need to be playing a high enough density of Lightsworn cards in your deck, which are generally fine. to be able to actually, like, get the draws or get the destruction effect, right? So, like, you do have some deck building restrictions around this to an extent. Or you just play it to mill. You just play it to mill. Like, you could do that, too.
I mean, it's still just crazy upside.
Yeah.
It's...
You want to see another lightsworn card, just for fun?
I almost don't want to.
Oh, too bad. I'm going to send it to you anyway. Here we go.
Yeah, okay. Wolf. Oh, this is the himbo episode. Here we go.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So now we got
know.
husbandos with the waifus. Yeah. Good thinking.
we were absolutely taking over this episode. Lightsworn Beast cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned by card effect. If this card is sent to your deck from your deck to the graveyard, special summon. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, this is like a typical lightsworn card where it's like either it mills or has a benefit from being milled.
Oh, good. I bet that's really nice with this card that nobody can have, that also draws cards, that also removes stuff, that also gets free. Dude, come on. Come on. And was that a level 4? Of course it was a level 4. Why wouldn't it be? Okay, so all you really need to be an absolute gamer, you're like, well, you gotta have 2 level 4 monsters. Dude, just play like one piece of crap that would have maybe made it in tier elements and like mill 3
tier
cards.
element just ruined your perception of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
I swear. I should have saved that video for a lot later.
Flip 2 of those beasts, return them to the battlefield, bring this out, and then just punk the opponent right there on the spot, kick them in the nuts on their way out the door. That's it. That's it.
So she was banned.
That's what we do. God damn it, I hope so. But
okay.
Yes, let's go with it.
And historically, they have banned prize cards before. It would not be the first time. This card's fine. Card's totally fine.
This is fine. Like, I can just play this card.
Yep. I really think it's because of the fact it does have, like, that you need to be playing lightsworn. And, you know, at certain points in history, lightsworn was either really good or not particularly good. And so, like I said, there was a very strong deck. There was a lightsworn deck that would play Minerva during the time it was initially printed. And so you had to shell out, like, you know, several $100s if you wanted a copy of this card. But then they reprinted it, and it was still playable. But, again, it was sort of just like lightsworns go in and out of if they're good or not. And so this is an example of this card it has the deck building restriction. Like, if you're not playing lightsworns, this card just mills you 3, basically, which is, like, not great. There's just, like, better cards that could do that don't require you to, like, use 2 monsters to go into. So, yeah, this card's fine. Never got touched.
Cool. I can't wait. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's go. Why not? Why the hell not?
Here's your next one.
What the hell is this?
It's a fairy tale.
Fairy tale snow? Why is there a chipmunk? What is going on? Okay.
People love Snow. She's adorable.
Okay, sure.
Oh, yeah, by the way, you also have to say your favorite waifu at the end of the episode.
I do?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well,
I guess this one won't make the list, just based off your reaction.
No, this is a bit much
okay,
for me.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, I mean, saying people have a nice tail, this is going out there. This is a bit much. This is a level 4. Attack is 1850. And it says, if this card is normal or special summoned, you can target a face-up monster your opponent controls, change it to face-down defense position. During either player's turn, if this card is in your graveyard, you can banish 7 other cards from your hand, field, or graveyard to special summon this. I'm guessing these things are unlikely. How old is this card?
I want to say, to test my own knowledge, 2014? 2016. That was close. So we're still like in Yu-Gi-Oh! 1-ish territory. Maybe Yu-Gi-Oh! 1.5, if you will.
Changing a monster to face down defense position kind of turns off its effects, right?
It turns off its effects, and notably, I don't know if you were aware of this, so I'll let you know. It turns off its effects, but also you can't use it for most of the summoning mechanics, like Synchro, Xyz, and such, because it has to be face up for you to do that. You can still fuse with that monster for a fusion summon, or tribute it for a ritual summon, but you can't Synchro it off or overlay it for an Xyz to make Minerva, for instance.
It does a little something that's relevant to some people. Got it. That's what I just heard. Okay. So in certain metas, this might have been more effective than others.
Sure. Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
Good sideboard card, maybe. banishing 7 cards from hand, field, or graveyard is a lot.
Unless
Like,
you
that's
mill
a lot
them.
of cards. It's true, except like even then, when I'm banishing 7 cards from a graveyard in Magic, it's to draw 3 cards for 1 mana. You know?
Thank you,
know
Treasure
what I mean?
Cruise. Yeah.
yeah. So, like, dude, what do? We banish, I think, like 8 cards for an extra turn with Temporal Trespass. Like, it's a lot of. I know from Magic, it's a lot of cards, and that you can't always do it. It's not that consistent. And if you actually have a use for those cards, then banishing them can suck. I mean, is this a card that also, I don't know, does it see play in the One Punch Dude deck? Probably
That's a fair thought. Yeah, it does banish the cards. That's fair. Yeah. Okay. You're cooking. You're remembering things.
It might be a good sideboard card there. So it's hard to like gauge in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because this is kind of messing with things like combat and abilities on the field and all that of just how generically good that ability is. But it does remind me of a card I've mentioned on your show before, which is Dress Down, which is an enchantment, stays on the field for 1 turn and has flash, and it takes away all creatures' abilities for that turn.
We have a card similar
Pretty
to
good
that.
card.
Yeah, we have a card similar to that.
And this is just 1, but you do get a dork. I don't know. I'm not blown away. It seems like a good toolbox piece. I don't see why it's a problem. I see it as a card with a unique role, and I think cards like that are cool. So I'm going to go with this card is fine.
This card's banned.
This card is banned.
Can you believe that?
What? Is it the tail? Was it too much?
So,
did the people go crazy?
Let me give you some context here. Because there's some things that may mechanically you may have missed. So we'll get into that. So one of the most popular decks this card was played in was called Snowsworn, which is snow with lightsworn in it. Obviously, because it can mill a bunch of cards. And so getting all those mills means that snow was active from your graveyard as a way to interrupt your opponent. So when it comes to snow, there's proactive and reactive ways to use snow. The reactive way is like at some point, if your opponent's doing something and you want to try to stop them from like a summon or an effect of a card, because if a card has a sorcery speed effect, you can summon snow out at quick effect speed, set it face down before it has a chance to use it. However, you can also proactively use snow in very unique ways. So let's say, for example, I summon a card like Armageddon Knight or Tour Guide that like on summon it like gets a guy or bins a guy, right? Let's say my opponent as Chainlink 2 uses an effect that says, let me just actually show you the card just to help you out here. Because I don't think technically this card could be a waifu too, but you know, we're not going based off that. Give this card a quick read here.
Oh, I remember this card.
It's from the hand trap video. I have, yeah.
Yep.
So quick reminder, read it.
During your opponent's main phase, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, negate the effects of the face-up monster your opponent controls until the end of this turn.
Sure. So as the first card on the stack, say that I play like Armageddon Knight or Tour Guide or something. Then as the second card on the stack, or Chainlink 2 as we call it, Effect Veiler, or our opponent uses Effect Veiler to try to negate the effect of our card. As Chainlink 3, or the third card on the stack, you can use Snow to banish your monster because it can banish from hand, field, or graveyard. You banish your own monster, and now Effect Veiler no longer has a target to negate, so the effect of your card resolves. So Snow was actually used in ways to be able to like make sure effects can get pushed through, because during this time, most effects that would negate a card's effect would target it. And since there's no longer a target to negate, but the effect is still on the stack, it would resolve. And so that made Snow extremely busted for a lot of different reasons. So just like the flexibility of this card was just immense. And there was a point where like, I won't say every deck, but a lot of decks were just playing Snow because it was just such a good card. So ultimately, and then also not to mention, like, you get to like Tier Element and stuff, it kind of gets even more nuts. So eventually, Snow actually made its way out to the ban list and is still actually banned today, as a matter of fact, at the time of recording this video.
That doesn't, like, the thing you described makes no sense to me. Like, why the effect would result. How Why would it work that? Okay.
Because the
whatever.
effect is already activated, and since Valor no longer has a target to negate, the effect will resolve, essentially. So, and it made, like I said, mechanically, it's kind of complicated. Also, fun fact, there's no once per turn on this card. So, hypothetically, if you have, like, multiple snows, you could just, like, bring multiple out and, like, do shenanigans with it. So, very good card. Very, very good card. And very deceptively strong, I feel like. There's a lot of people love this card because it has so many, like, cool little, like, use cases like that. Anyway.
Well, I feel deceived. That
was a tricky one. That was a tricky
None
one.
Of that,
for sure.
Yeah, that is wild.
Here's our next one. Speaking of negating effects.
The Iris Swordsoul. The Iris Swordsoul.
We're getting to like mommy territory with this card.
This is much more my waifu.
Okay. We might be getting there.
Yeah,
we might be getting there.
Like the fashion choices are impressive. I really like it. The color's great. This is good art. I like this.
It's a cool card. Cool card.
The attack and defense are 2,500, and it says during the main phase.
So either main phase.
If a monster whose effects are negated is on the field, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. If your opponent special summons a monster or monsters, except during the damage step, you can activate one of these effects based on where it was special summoned from. If it's from the hand, special summon one monster from your hand. If it's from the deck, draw 2 cards.
I thought you'd like it. I thought you'd like it.
We're done. Favorite waifu selected. Who draws me 2 cards? Okay. The only chance the rest of them have is equal
if they draw 2 cards.
And easier draw 2 cards, or heaven forbid 3 cards. All right. Extra deck. Destroy one of those monsters special summoned from the extra deck. You can only use each effect of this once per. Okay, now that we've talked about that last card has my head absolutely screwed up.
Yeah,
so
sorry.
Now I need to ask really weird questions.
Sure.
Like if we use the effect to destroy the monster special summoned from the extra deck, does its enters like effects or any of what in Magic would be called triggers resolve?
Yes. So if it has an effect that says if this card is Xyz summoned, that would activate, and then because they're the turn player, and then as Chainlink 2 or the second card on the stack, you can chain the Iris Swordsoul to destroy that monster. The effect will still resolve because the effect is already on the stack, but the monster is gone. So depending on the effect, it could be better or worse. It just kind of depends.
And you can do this to your own monsters if you wanted your monster in the graveyard or something?
If your opponent special summons a monster, you can destroy one of those monsters. So you only can destroy what they summon from the extra deck.
Just reading again.
No, you're good.
I see. If your opponent special summons.
Correct.
I see where it says opponent
Yep.
now. I got you.
Yep.
I got you.
And
Okay.
so it says destroy one of those monsters as well. It doesn't say destroy like one special summon monster from the extra deck. So you have to specifically destroy what they summon.
This is probably the dumbest idea ever, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway. Has Yu-Gi-Oh! Considered a commander format?
I believe there is a format that they're trying to make into a commander format, but it's like with the way Yu-Gi-Oh's designed, I think it's kind of difficult. They're trying to make it where, from my understanding, you pick a card as your commander, and then based off of certain things on the card is like your deck building restriction. So I think like if, for instance, if Iris Swordsoul was your commander, I think you can only play like light monsters in your deck or something like that. Or maybe like you can only play spellcasters. I forget the restrictions because I'm not super familiar with it, but there are like some restrictions. I'm sure the people in the comments who know the format will tell us.
And is it 4 players?
Yeah, they do it 4-player.
See, I want to play this in 4 players.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
I want 6 cards a turn cycle, baby. That's what I want. All right. How good are we?
Draws 2
How
cards.
good is this amazing card? Yeah, busted.
So
Insane.
hypothetically, if there was a negated monster on the field and you could summon Iris Swordsoul, if your opponent goes tour guide to summon a monster from the deck, you would draw 2 cards. It's that easy. And I will say, there are a lot of things in Yu-Gi-Oh! That summon from the deck. The tour guide is not like the only card that does that.
Oh, I've gotten the impression that that's correct.
Yep.
True.
Yep.
True. We can't do a video without summoning something from the damn deck.
Of course not.
This isn't an extra deck card, though.
No, this is main deck.
Right?
Remember, extra like main deck cards are like orange, green, and purple. The extra deck is like white, black.
Negating effects seems to be pretty common too.
It is very common. This is a newer card. This was printed, I want to say 2019? 2021. Wow, I was off. So we're sort of venturing into Yu-Gi-Oh! 2 territory at this point. Obviously, based off the way this card is designed.
I mean, it definitely is made to prey on the play patterns of your game. At this point, they know what they are, and they do this a lot. Out of the extra deck, if you had really consistent access to this, I think it would be very dangerous. Out of the main deck, it's like you kind of have to have it at the right time. It does... I'm sure it builds around a number of different things, and it can trigger a lot, but it does take up space in your deck, running multiple copies.
Yep.
That seems pretty good. But wait, let me read this again. Okay, this whole card can only be used once per turn. It can be used on both turns, but only once per turn. So
you can only
if you have 2 copies, right? It
right.
doesn't stack.
Exactly. It doesn't
Yeah.
stack.
Yeah. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, it seems like a right Yu-Gi-Oh! 2 card. It's not stopping the opponent from playing. It's like
sort of.
Basically, it kind of, I mean, destroying a thing that's special summoned doesn't seem weird to me anymore.
Yeah.
All your
that's
cards
common.
like get you a thing and destroy a thing and wreck a thing. The draw 2 cards part is, of course, powerful, but it is playing off the fact that your opponent just got to tutor for whatever they want. So I think if you're going to have a draw 2 in your game, maybe that's the way you need to do it, by triggering off things that the opponent does that are already powerful. It's matching power with power. I think that's a good move. Special summoning 1 monster from your hand. See, that's a good dream. That's a good, like, let's sell the card line of text, because the kids out there are dreaming, man. Give me the biggest, most crazy mechy kaiju monstery thing that you can give me, the blue eyes of its time.
Sure.
And we're just gonna slam that on the battlefield with this baby. So like, there's a lot of good text on this card, but I don't like, it seems like in Yu-Gi-Oh! 2, this card is just kind of made to sell some packs, get the spotlight, and have some big moments, but I don't think it has to be hit. This doesn't have to be hit, right? This is good, honest, answer all your nonsense Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's say this card is fine. You know what? I'm gonna put it like this. This card is fine.
You are correct. This card is totally fine. There was a lot of hype surrounding this card when it was first announced. People thought it was going to be like absolutely busted. And it ended up being okay. It saw like some modicum of play, but it wasn't very widespread. Like some very like niche decks would play it. It just kind of ended up being like, you'd rather just like negate their stuff than like summon this thing and like do all this other stuff. Like there's just kind of better cards, I guess. It was kind of just not enough, really. But she's definitely a mommy, that's for sure. So that's why we included her in the waifu video. Speaking of which, here's your next one, and I think you're gonna like this card a lot.
Oh yeah, is it gonna compete?
It's
gonna be a
wait till you read the effect
here, dude. Look at this dress. What the heck?
People love to cosplay as
somebody,
Lovely Labrynth.
Dude, somebody's wedding day or something. Lovely Labrynth of the Silver Castle. Okay, I'm also getting Frozen vibes. Let's see. Oh, you're a fiend. Never mind. Okay. Your opponent cannot activate monster effects in response to the activation of your normal trap cards. You can only use each of the following effects of Lovely Labrynth of the Silver Castle once per turn. You can target 1 normal trap in your graveyard, set it to your field, but it cannot be activated unless you control a fiend monster. If another monster leaves the field by your normal trap effect, except during the damage step, of course, you can destroy 1 card in your opponent's hand at random or their field. Up, ban it. No, not my hand. Okay. People like this card, you said?
Yeah, well, they like it for the art. I don't know if they like playing against it.
They like the art of this card. They like to cosplay this card. That's what you said. Okay.
I know you like your trap cards and your blue level interactions, so this was a highly requested one to show you.
I bet. And it's weird, now that we've done so many videos, I know that the trap cards ain't that good in current Yu-Gi-Oh! But
yeah, it depends on the card, but yeah. And to be fair, the Labrynth deck plays a lot of like its own in archetype trap cards that are very good. Like if there is a trap deck that is playable, Labrynth is like one of them.
Yeah, okay. And when it says normal trap as opposed to what's a special trap?
Because remember, there are continuous trap cards that just stay active on the field. And then there's also...
That was what I was thinking. Yes.
And then there's also counter trap cards, which are also another subtype of trap card.
But not continuous traps or counter traps.
Correct.
Can't target those.
And to be fair, in the Labrynth deck, you're playing essentially almost all exclusively normal traps, maybe barring a few. So there's no shortage of targets there.
So interesting. Your game has so
Do you want to
many
like
things
see a Labrynth trap just for some context? Would that help you out a bit?
Sure. Let's go.
Let me show you.
You called it a Labrynth trap. Is that just because it's played in the deck with Labrynth, or is Labrynth a type?
Labrynth is the archetype. So they're all, they all have like Labrynth in the name. So for instance, like here is this card.
Big Welcome Labrynth is a trap card. Oh, Big Welcome Labrynth. Wow. They put it in the title. Okay. Special summon one Labrynth monster. Oh, yep. Okay. Deck or graveyard. Great. It's a tutor. Of course it was. Then return one monster you control to the hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard. Then target a fiend monster you control. Or if you control a level 8 or higher fiend monster, you can target one card your opponent controls instead. Return that card to the hand. You can only use one of these effects per turn and only once that turn. They love putting it right on the nose. Hey, do you know what a level 8 fiend monster is that maybe has Labrynth in the title? Okay. Yeah.
Just for some context as well, here are a couple of other like normal trap cards, just so you can get a sense of like what this deck is like playing and like trying to recur.
Dogmatica? Punishment? Okay. Target a face-up monster your opponent controls. Send one monster with an equal or higher attack from your extra deck to the graveyard. And if you do, destroy that monster. Until the end of your next turn, after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. You can only activate one of these per turn.
And there's another card too I just sent you.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
I'm just trying to give you context here, that's all.
Yeah. You're also I'm not gonna remember what the first card did after all this. What is that? Okay. Declare one monster card type, Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Pendulum. For the rest of this turn, neither player can special summon monsters of the declared type. Love it. Also, negate the effects of all monsters of that type while they are on the field. Yes.
It's a card you
can
very
only
much love.
Activate one-dimensional barrier per turn. Yes. Finally, all of your I do the Xyz materials into the something summon into the this that gets me a that. Shut up. It's my turn. You're done. It's over. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. All right, this card is amazing. This deck is busted. Let's go. If I can just dimensional barrier every turn for a whole game, that's what I'm going to try.
I mean, with lovely Labrynth, you can keep resetting it to your field. I'm just saying.
Yes.
I told you you'd like this deck. I told you you'd like this deck.
Okay.
This is very much a U deck. Like the Runic deck was also a U deck, but this deck is also a U deck. I've just been holding out on showing it to you.
Thank you so much for keeping this from me. It's kept me from buying Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I appreciate that. Holy okay. So we can play. You don't get to play Yu-Gi-Oh with these cards.
Oh, 100%. 100%. That's the best way to play Yu-Gi-Oh is your opponent can't play the game.
Correct. Dude, and this one tutors it right up. You need a monster on the field to return to your hand, but it's a trap, so you can activate this whenever you want. So it could even save your monster if they're trying to kill it.
Yep, you can bounce your own thing back. Yep.
That's so cool.
Isn't it cool? Yeah, it's sick. This is also a newer deck. This was when was this deck printed? I want to say like 2021, 2022. I was close.
Because I think back in the day it would have got banned.
Okay. You think now it's fine?
I think there's so much bullshit in your game So here's what's up. The more powerful things get, the worse reactive decks tend to be.
Sure.
Like, if you don't have the right piece at the right time and something slips through the cracks, it can run away with the game. Like, yeah, you just get like a medium card or the wrong trap for the wrong situation or things like that. You just blink and you're probably in trouble. That's the problem. And like the Yu-Gi-Oh! 2 cards are insane. They do it all. It's not like the opponent is going to have cards that are terrible against your strategy. They just do everything. So I don't know, man. Dimensional Barrier is an amazing card, but do you even get to play it? Have they already done their thing if you go second?
Do you want to see another waifu in the same archetype?
Now you're figuring out how to tempt me with more cards. You have to lead with the waifu factor. Okay, Lady Labrynth of the Silver Castle. Hello, how are you today?
She got some legs.
This is a fiend. Yet there are literally like 55% legs right here. That's these, and look at those heels. Oh my god. While you control a set card, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Also, it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. You can only use each of the following of effects once a turn. If a Labrynth card or effect of a normal trap card was activated this turn, except Lady of Labrynth of the Silver Castle, you can quick effect. You can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. When a normal trap card is activated at quick effect, you can set one normal trap with a different name directly from your deck. I don't know if I have fully comprehended what is going on. The Labrynth card or effect of normal trap was activated. Except this. You summon this from your hand. Okay. I activate my trap card. Here's my lady.
Yep. And then when a normal trap card is activated, after that, you can set any normal trap from your deck with a different name.
Face down.
Ready to activate.
Damn. Just tutor it up. Okay, so now we're tutoring trap cards. Okay. So
you can tutor up that dimensional barrier you fell in love with 5 seconds ago.
You still got to do it on time. If they already put all the things on the field, you still have to clear them.
I guess that's true, but you can do it pretty early.
I don't know. I've still seen so many Yu-Gi-Oh! 2 cards that can destroy like any card, that can negate any card, that can mess with traps if you need it to.
Well, she can't be targeted or destroyed. I'm just saying.
While you control a set card, so you do have
that's a trap
moment where
basically.
You get the set card in there, right?
Well, you could set the trap before you summon Lady Labrynth, so she immediately has the protection. So, like, hypothetically, say your first turn is you just set 4 trap cards face down, and then, like, at the start of your opponent's turn, you activate one of them, and you summon Lady Labrynth. She immediately has protection because you still have a set card on your field.
I mean, I hope there's a good trap deck. But man, I feel like I'd know by now, since almost all the cards you show me in Yu-Gi-Oh! 2, you're like, traps are too slow. So I'm not falling for it.
So you think it's fine?
I'm not falling for it. This is fine. We're fine. Everybody's fine.
Labrynth is maybe the best trap-based deck they've ever printed. This was in an attempt to make trap cards like relevant again, because for the most part they are not really played, and that is because of the main factor that they are particularly slow. And Labrynth has seen a ton of play as a deck. A lot of people just, if they like a more control-y style of deck, playing trap cards, this is the deck that they play. And this deck was, I would say, a tier 1 deck for probably a couple years. I would say, even if it wasn't tier 1, it would probably be like tier 2 and people would still play it because you could just play stuff that just like Dimensional Barrier that you just win the game basically automatically. But you are correct. These cards never got touched. They're totally fine.
Hell yeah. See, not fooling me.
I thought I'd get you. I thought I'd get you, but you did not fall for the bait. Congratulations.
No. Not in Yu-Gi-Oh! 2 land. You guys have like progressed into the most absolutely toxic possible card gaming society. Like you guys can do horrible things to each other. It's amazing.
That is true. Speaking of doing horrible things to each other, give this card a read.
Summon sorceress. Okay, you can't segue with doing horrible things to each other. Show me this. This is terrible. Oh my goodness. All right. This is a link. I gotta do the link thing. Okay, attack is 2400. So this has a special place on the board and in the extra deck kind of deal.
It's in the extra deck, and you have to play it in that extra monster zone. Yes.
Okay. If this card is link summoned, you can special summon one monster from your hand in defense position. If to your opponent's zone, this card points to.
So that little up arrow is pointing to an opponent's zone. So, because in the extra monster zone, you're kind of in between both players' fields. So that's how that would work.
You can target one face-up monster this card points to and special summon one monster from your deck in defense position with the same type as that monster to a zone this card points to, but negate its effects. You can only use this once a turn.
Yep. So she has 2 down, left, and right pointing arrows. Those are pointing to your zones. So basically, you can give your opponent something in their zone, and then you can use that to then, get something in your own zone. But you don't have to. Like, if you already have something else already out on the field, then summon sorcerers can just use that instead.
To do what?
To summon something out of your deck.
Let me see this. Oh, okay.
So if she's already,
okay.
when you summon her, if she's already pointing to something you control, you can just get something out of your deck that's the same type as that instead.
Sure.
You don't have to give your opponent something. It's if you want to trigger her second effect, essentially.
So, yeah, it does feel like she's extra copies of, like, good 2-card combos that may exist. She's a redundancy machine as long as they're of the same type.
Yep, she's kind of like tour guide, but like on steroids, if you will.
And this one does come from the extra deck.
Correct. Yep.
So, in a way, is like free and always available.
Mm-hmm.
And uses the link spot on the board.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably just bonus value. 2 monsters of the same type. What type are we? What are we hanging out?
This is
Dark?
spellcaster,
Oh, okay.
but you can use any monsters of the same type. So, like, they don't have to be spellcasters. So they could be fiends. So, for instance, if you had Tour Guide and Sangan and another Tour Guide, those are all 3 fiends. You could make Summon Sorceress with them.
Okay. Damn.
So she incentivizes, like, mono-type decks.
People usually tend to like those.
Okay.
But they're not as fun to play against as they are for people to play them.
Sure.
Are you a problem? Are you a problem?
Look at that little face. Is she a problem?
Oh, no, never. No, that's trouble. That's trouble with a capital T. What deck doesn't run this? Something that doesn't have a lot of the same types?
Now there's a way to circumvent that. Would you like me to show you?
Yes.
Let me show you this guy.
Reprodocus?
Nice. Yeah.
It's
close enough.
Looks like a robot anime dino. That's sweet.
Yep.
All right. Oh God, it has so much text. Attack 800. Link to. You can activate one of these.
You only have to care
Declare
about the
what
first
monster
effect.
type. All face-up monsters this card points to become that type.
Yep.
Until the end of this turn.
So hypothetically,
but it only points in 2 directions.
Yep, but if it just points down to one of your monsters, it is already a link 2, and Summon Sorceress is a link 3. So you just need him and any other monster. You just declare dinosaur, so they're both dinosaurs, and then you can link into Summon Sorceress.
That's great. I love that we just declare dinosaurs. Do you have anything to declare re-entering the country, sir? Yes, dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
Thank you. I
know you like your
dinosaurs.
dinosaurs. Okay. That's why I thought I'd show you.
I do love dinosaurs. I do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have to do a dinosaur episode in the future. That'd be interesting.
I could if you do a dinosaur episode here, we've got to do a magic dino episode.
Oh,
as
okay,
well.
okay.
If this card is link summoned, you can special summon one monster from your hand in defense position to your opponent's zone. This card points to. You can target one face-up monster. I mean, obviously it can piece together combos, but is this really that different from so many other things? It is a bit. It does seem more open-ended.
Especially because she's in the extra deck, and any deck can theoretically play her. Yeah.
Yep. That could be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
It certainly gets everybody to care about their link zones and where they're placing things.
Yep.
I bet that's fun.
It is. That was actually something in Yu-Gi-Oh! That they tried to do early on, and they failed. And then when Link Summoning came out, the zones mattered quite a bit for where things go.
Oh, yeah. I bet the Strictly Correct folks had a field day. And am I gonna say this card got banned?
Are you?
The
alarm bell's going off?
They are. Your format's such a tutor format. But most of them do have the restrictions. Most of them are for a specific type. Most of them are very obvious on them what you're getting. This one is open-ended, and it does concern me because I'm sure there are plenty of this plus that of things of the same type that are like, boom, you do something too good.
Sure.
And the every deck could run this thing is a question mark because it does feel like a lot of decks are going to have similar types in them.
Yep. And like, I would say that's true. Most archetypes are usually the same type. Sometimes they specifically make them all different, but for the most part, I would say the former is true.
I'm really close on this one.
I was gonna say, it sounds like it
wasn't banned. Yeah, I won't be surprised if this turns out to be fine because it feels like a Yu-Gi-Oh card to me. But there's something weird about every extra deck having 2 or 3 of these. Or if it got restricted, even just every extra deck having 1 of these.
Sure.
And everybody having to care about these zones so much. In Magic, that would be annoying. In Yu-Gi-Oh, that might be encouraged. You guys really like the little nitty-gritty technical? Sure, why not? Let's ban this card. Let's do it. Or let's say this card got hit. Let's say that.
Oh, that's a cheap cop out. But you're correct. Summon Sorceress got banned and is actually still banned. I think she's actually legal now that I think about it, but they errated her to like make her way worse. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if we ever got the print of that now that I think about it. But anyway, everything you said is basically on point. The fact that every deck essentially had generic access to a way to tutor theoretically any monster out of your deck as long as it's the same type was way too fucking strong. There were so many degenerate combos that she enabled as well that this card was a huge problem. And so thankfully this card does not fucking exist anymore because this card was fucking irritating. So you got it right.
I can tell.
It is.
You like double F-bombed in one sentence.
Yeah. No, it's you play
real.
against Summon Sorc, you're like it's so annoying too because even if you like try to stop them, they can like keep going because that's just like how Yu-Gi-Oh is. And it's like she was so free and it was just like so much value for like doing nothing basically that she had to go. She was just way too strong.
But Timo, look at that cute little face.
Exactly. You can't ban that little face. It looks like my dog.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Your last white. I think we're gonna have to do a multi-part on this because I have so many tabs pulled up, but like I'm gonna just do one last one for you for this video.
I love this. We need a good trilogy. Lord of the Waifus.
Lord of the Waifus, episode 1.
Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. Apollousa.
Yep.
Bow of the Goddess. Riding what looks like a polar bear. With cat ears. Dear God. This card is $1 million. Okay,
I will say when this card was printed, it was very expensive, and you'll see why when you read the effect.
It's a Link 4, and it has +2 monsters with different names except tokens. Okay, Link stuff. You can only control 1 of these. The original attack of this card becomes 800 times the number of Link materials used to summon it.
So let me give you let me give you some context here. So remember, this is a Link 4. So hypothetically, if you go back to Summon Sorceress, if Summon Sorceress like summons a thing, because she's a Link 3 and your other monster is a Link 1, because anything that's not like has a Link rating is just considered 1, you could make Apollousa with 2 monsters and she has 1600 attack. However, she's a Link 4, so if you have 4 monsters that are only worth 1 Link of material, then you can make her 3200 attack points, hypothetically.
Wow. Okay. Was that common?
It depends on the deck, and it'll matter when you read the last part of the effect here.
Once per chain. That's new. When your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can make this card lose exactly 800 attack, and if you do, negate the activation. Oh, baby. Oh, shut it down.
I feel like you'd like this card. Yep.
Let's go. Okay. Once per chain, when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can make this card lose that. Does it get it back at the end of the turn?
It does not. So that is the incentive to make it with
permanent negative.
Correct. So that's the incentive to make this with multiple materials, so that you have more negations essentially, and you have more attack points.
Yeah.
But so if you make it with 4 materials, it has 4 negates essentially. If you make it with 2, it only has 2.
Crank this thing up to 4. It's 3200 attack. Punch the opponent, and now negate like 3 or 4 things.
Yep. That's like it's her like
though, right?
shooting the arrows, I think, is what like a lot of people.
Oh, it's once per chain.
Not once per turn.
Oh, snap. Dude.
I'm still holding out some good cards for you. We haven't gotten through them all yet.
I mean,
now you can see why she was $1 million.
The cat girl ears aren't usually my thing, but this is working for me. I can't lie. When did this card come out?
Great question. It's a Yu-Gi-Oh! 2-ish card, I want to say. 2019. So like on the verge.
Yeah.
Tier element for context was 2022, because I know you like to.
And there's another Link monster that pops out of the extra deck. It's pointing it's pointing everywhere, but it doesn't. Am I missing something? It doesn't like reference what it is pointing anywhere.
Because the
so
arrows, for context, back when Link monsters were first printed, if you summoned anything out of the extra deck, in addition to a Link monster, it had to be in a zone that the Link monster is pointing to. So her arrows don't matter for her effect, but they give you 3 arrows to summon things from your extra deck. They changed that rule later on that you didn't have to do that because it was really fucking stupid. But initially, you'd always, if anything's coming from the extra deck, you'd always have to summon it to what a Link monster points to. So this would give you 3 more zones to summon things from your extra deck, hypothetically, which is good. I mean, it's quite good.
And if you, like, Link summon, like, 4 things to this, and they just play not a monster, but some kind of a spell or effect that kills it, it's all just gone, right?
It's all gone, yeah.
Okay. So, again,
but as you know, Yu-Gi-Oh's very monster effect heavy, so...
But it does force people to make considerations for their deck building that it probably just can't be all monster effects if this card is powerful or if this card can solo somebody. So it's not like there's no way around it. It has basically a specific kind of interaction. What is this like in Magic? A card that would negate multiple effects from the opponent's creatures but would just die to Doomblade. Just die to a spell. I mean, we don't have many things like that because spells are so common and decks that are nearly all creatures are not. It's very, like, removal is very much a part of Magic. This in Magic would be like, all right, I stack up. I'm so ready to shut down the effects of your monsters. And the opponent's like, yep, and I kill it. Yep, nicely done. In Yu-Gi-Oh,
would you like to see some context for some protection with an additional waifu?
Okay, I mean, you said the word, so I gotta see it.
You can rate both of these.
Oh, I can rate both of these.
This is also on the list.
Bro, do I need to read this card? I don't know if I need to read this card. Dude, she's in rollerblades, dude.
I was gonna say, Mr. Roller Derby over here.
I'm a roller. I coach roller derby, and I rollerbladed a ton as a young man. So this is right up my alley.
So wait till you read it.
So up my alley. Oh my god. IP masquerena.
Yep.
During your opponent's main phase, you can quick effect immediately after this effect resolves. Link summon 1 Link monster using materials you control, including this card. You can only use this effect once per turn. A Link monster that used this card as material cannot be destroyed by an opponent's card effects.
So hypothetically, on your opponent's turn, you don't have to do it on your opponent's turn. You could do it on your turn too. It doesn't say like it has to be for that effect to apply. If you make an Apollousa with IP as one of the materials, you might only get a 3 material Apollousa because she's a Link 2. However, Apollousa is immune to destruction by card effects now. So like your Dies to Doomblade example becomes a bit more complicated because now you'd have to either like kill her by battle or have an effect that's non-destructive to take care of her.
And this is also just another extra deck card.
Yep.
So, yeah, they can live together.
They can. Exactly.
Great. That's awesome.
Do you want to see her slutty version?
What? Are you just trying to ruin me?
Here we go.
Are you just...
She has an altar art.
What the heck? Okay, I didn't know she had a cattail, but she does have a Tron bike.
She does have the Tron bike.
Great. I mean, maybe I'm that into going rollerblading. Maybe my dream of meeting a girl at the roller rink back in my childhood, my teen years, was so strong. I'm still into the other one.
Okay, sure.
To be honest,
that's fair.
But
a lot of people like the altar art. Yeah,
it's a nice bike you got there. Very. You know what? Either way, that's cool. So that's a cool thing that those are built to basically work together.
They weren't printed at the same time. There was a gap, but it was definitely a combo when it was when IP was released later. When IP was released, it was definitely a combo for sure.
I'm trying to remember. I think most of the cards you've shown me that were like immune to your opponent's stuff, it was all like, oh god, what are they gonna do with it? Especially in Yu-Gi-Oh 2. And then you're like, yep, it's fine. It's fine. It's whatever. We find ways around it. There's this way around it that you don't understand, you silly Magic player. And of course, you can always do this that you probably didn't know about our rule set. And of course, there's always this. And I'm like, yeah, okay. so I feel like most of the time when something has read and I've read it and been like, there's no way to kill this, the review has been, well, actually, yeah, that sounds about right. Actually, we know exactly how to kill this. Every Yu-Gi-Oh player knows how to kill this, you silly MTG man. So I don't know. I'm not buying in. I've been conditioned at this point. Let's see. You can only control one of these. That's a pretty good safeguard. They don't even have to restrict it. The once per chain thing is pretty strong. It still is a lot of eggs in a basket, and whether or not you're summoning it with this card still feels Yu-Gi-Oh to me. Like, what is the cost? You still have to have a lot of things on the field that you sweep into this. And then it is a limited number of fires, and each one makes it smaller. So I don't know. Can you like just, if you play something with a pretty good size, you can probably just attack this thing? I mean, 3200 is too much, but like once you get it used once or twice, then attacking it probably kills it. And then you just use your monster effects. This is why the waifu episode is difficult, because they tug at my heartstrings with their cute face and the outfits, and this one has freaking rollerblades. During your opponent's main phase, you can quick effect immediately after this resolves. Link summon a monster. I mean, throwing something out on their turn is also really annoying, but it is in the main phase, so it's not like it blows up their battle phase. See, this is where the waifu episode gets too difficult, because I can't just ban one of these cards. What are you talking about? Look at them. They're amazing. I don't know. They just don't give me that vibe. I really don't think, it's just not hitting me that way. Like, this is the problem. That this is oppressive. I'm going to say these did not get hit.
Apollousa is fucking crazy. The fact that this one card can potentially have 4 negates on it is just like not okay. Like, there's Yu-Gi-Oh cards that negate all effects, but the fact that it's also on a body, and the fact that it's like once per chain, it can go after, notably, it goes after like opposing hand traps. So ideally in Yu-Gi-Oh 2, when this card was still legal, you would try to make Apollousa as early as possible. And then if Apollousa stuck, your plays were then insulated from any of your opponent's hand traps, unless they had some way to use multiple hand traps in the same chain, because Apollousa can only be used once per chain. So if you made Apollousa, all of a sudden now your opponent's interaction, because most hand traps are in the form of effect monsters. There are a few that are trap cards, and they've printed more since that are traps. It made it really difficult for the opponent to play the game, because now if they throw their hand traps into Apollousa, they're just like wasting cards essentially. And Apollousa doesn't really, aside from having to put a bunch of cards into making the Apollousa, it's not like there's a cost. Like, she just has 4 negates for no reason. And sometimes people would make Apollousa for 2 negates, because if your opponent only has 2 hand traps, then that's enough to make sure the rest of your plays go through. And like I said in Yu-Gi-Oh, the best way that people play modern Yu-Gi-Oh is to prevent people from playing the actual game. So Apollousa, funny enough, is still legal in Master Duel, which is very frustrating because people still hate to play against this card. People love this card like when they're playing it, but they hate to play against it because it is very oppressive. So Apollousa is banned. Apollousa is banned. She is still banned in the TCG. But IP is totally fine. She's just a very nice card to just allow you to link summon on the opponent's turn, which is really cool and very unique. I think she's like the only card that lets you do that. There might be a couple others, but she's like the most generic one that you could play. And so, like I said, there was a very simple combo of just making Apollousa with Masquerena, just so she had the destruction protection to make her even harder to deal with. And Masquerena is just a very beloved and very strong card. It's not really a problem. It's very easy to deal with Masquerena, because if you summon a big enough monster that's bigger than 800 attack, you can go into the battle phase or attempt to, and they get the option to, before you do that, use the Masquerena to link off. So you can kind of force out the Masquerena pretty easily to make your opponent commit to something else, and then you're not in the battle phase yet, so you can continue playing with your turn. So there's very good counterplay to Masquerena, and I think that's part of the reason why she's still legal. And no one ever really thought this card's oppressive, though. Like, she's just a very strong, like, above average card for the most part. Definitely the chase card of the set she was released in, for sure.
What is the lore, though? Is that she's putting rollerblades on the thing so nobody can catch the monster that she helps summon that can no longer be affected? Is that what's up? Okay.
A lot of Link monsters just, they kind of like are in like the cyberpunk theme, essentially. So I don't know. Because IP is in her name, right? So I don't know. I'm guessing she wins because she's the rollerblader in terms of your favorite waifu, if I had to guess.
I mean, she looks like a winner to me. Yeah.
Does this look like anyone on your roller derby team?
I mean, no comment. I'm the coach. No comment.
That's funny. All right, so IP Masquerena is the winner of the the first waifu episode, because we might have to do a sequel, because like I said, I still have like a million tabs open of other things that could have been for this video, and it was very tough to narrow it down for sure, but we're pushing our time limit. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Thank you so much as always, and I'm glad we got to show you some Yu-Gi-Oh! Waifus. I hope you enjoyed.
This was a good day. This is a really good day.
That's how all the audience feels too, that it's a good day. They're like, finally!
You're welcome, audience.
So guys, that's going to wrap it up for another video. I really hope you all enjoyed. Let's go ahead and shout out the patrons for all of their continued support. So shout out to Shout1317, Tim00x3, MBT Play Madolce, Moto, Cameron L. Smith, The Synchro Guy, Pony Stark, Little Fadeleaf, Dan the Man Hoban, Draconic, Daniel Howell, Brian Denser of Class 7, Dylan Rare Hunter, JW11860, Flannel Daddy, literally all of the guinea pigs, MBT canceled by a community soon, canceled by all committees soon, canceled by all players soon, MBT and Nimnim's one Boxer Brief Fueled Night of Passion, Electrician of the Ice Barrier, The Nova 129, Chris Adams, and Pink Frappe. Thank you again so much, and we will see you next time.